What's going on, folks? Today, Brewing with Rags, we're working on my beautiful Dubh Stout. It's a dark, sweet, chocolatey, coffee flavory type of beverage. I'm sure you're going to love it. Stand by. Let's start with the ingredients. So we're going to go with 6 pounds of Mutton's Maris Otter light malt extract syrup. I'm going to do 1 ounce of UK East Kent Goldings. I'm going to go with the Windsor Dry Active Yeast for the British Ale style. And then I have a pound of specialty grains. These are my own proprietary mix for my Dubh Stout. I got some chocolate malt in there, some special coffee, some crystal malt 170 for medium body. That's all I can tell you for right now, but that's pretty nice. When it's time to transfer my specialty grains into the muslin bag, I like to stretch it over a bowl. See that there? I stretch it over a bowl just to make it a little bit easier. It would be nicer if I had someone to hold the bag for me while I do it, but since I don't, I figure out this way. It works really well for me. So I use the bowl to help me carefully transfer my grain into my muslin bag. Nice and easy. And also it catches all that dust, that comes out that you lose. Here I have my grains in the muslin bag, my specialty Dubh grains. What I'm going to do now is gently lower them into my water that's at 155 degrees. And I'm going to let this steep like a giant tea bag for about 20 minutes. We're about 10 minutes into our steep, and you can see that beautiful color that I get from my roasted barley and my special kiln coffee malts. While I'm waiting on my steep to finish out, what I like to do is take my brew vessel and put a little star sand in there and drop in all the equipment I'm going to need. My hydrometer, my wine thief, all my hoses, everything I need I put right in there and let that sanitize up while I'm still boiling the wort. A little trick I've learned is to soak your extract in hot water for about 5 or 10 minutes before you add it to your wort to get it to loosen up and come out of the can nice and clean. Alright, so now my boil's done. A lot of guys are tempted to squeeze this beautiful bag to get the rest of that black liquor out. What I do is I take a kettle, I boil some water, and I gently pour it over to rinse all of that goodness out. You don't want to squeeze it because if you squeeze it, you'll release tannins that are real bitter and they can ruin your whole beer. So just get a kettle of nice hot water and just rinse it on through.
Let me see how. Well, I'm gonna wait for the oven.
So my next step is to take the wort off of the heat as I add the syrup. The reason why I take the wort off the heat is that the syrup is really heavy. It goes right down to the bottom, and the last thing I wanted to do is to actually scorch. It would ruin the whole taste of beer. Well, taste of this beer.
It does come out beautiful.
Once all my malt is added, next thing to do is to add my hops. I bring my wort to a boil, add the hops, and I start my timer for 60 minutes. Now we have the dreaded hot break. So right now I got all the proteins kind of breaking apart and trying to go crazy like a gremlin. This is the part where you got to stay on top of it, make sure that this doesn't boil over, because this will make a huge mess. After the hot break, everything goes back to normal. So now you could you don't have to babysit it, but I wouldn't go too far. I wouldn't leave the kitchen. Alright, so what I have here is my chilled wort mixed with cold water to bring my temperature to about 75 degrees. I'm going to aerate and then pitch my yeast and take a hydrometer reading. Taking a OG reading here, we have 1050 at about 72 degrees. Last and final step, adding the yeast. Just going to sprinkle these on the top, stir them in, pop on my lid, and we're ready to ferment. And now we just wait. In a couple of hours, I'll have some action in that airlock, and in about 7 days, I'll have some fully fermented, delicious Dubh Stout.